You know that feeling? It's like January 1st, and you think, okay, this is it. This is the year I finally learned Spanish.
Oh, I know it well.
You download an app, maybe you buy a nice new notebook, and you're all in on your streak. And then 3 weeks later, that's it. It's over.
Yeah, it's the classic tutorial hell. It's not just for programming anymore.
Yeah.
You're just like collecting resources. You're watching YouTube videos, saving Instagram posts, but you're not actually doing anything.
It's hoarding, not learning. And that exact frustration, that sense of motion without any progress, is why this stack of books we're looking at today just jumped out at me. So today, we are doing a deep dive into the Complete Spanish DELE A1 Package for Beginners by Vikas Kumar. And I want to be really clear from the start. This is not just a book.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Calling it a book is like a total category error. It's an entire system, a 7-volume system.
7 volumes. For A1, I mean, A1 is the absolute beginner level, right?
That's right.
Usually you get like a thin little workbook for that. This thing looks like it could hold up a building.
Yeah.
It just feels intense.
Intense is the right word, and I think that's the whole point. So the mission for this deep dive is to really unpack why a beginner might need this level of structure.
Yeah.
And the repetition, well, the numbers are just wild. We'll get to that.
Before we do, let's talk about the title. It says DELE A1. Now, a lot of people probably hear A1 and they think, the first level on an app.
Right.
But that's not what this is aiming for, is it?
Not even close. DELE is the official diploma from the Spanish government. It's certified by the Cervantes Institute. It's a serious, internationally recognized qualification.
So passing the DELE A1 means you have actual official proof that you can function, you can survive.
Exactly. You can handle immediate, concrete needs,
Yeah.
asking about personal details, basic transactions, telling time. It's the difference between just memorizing a few phrases and actually understanding the mechanics.
And that's the problem the author, Vikas Kumar, really hones in on. He calls it the illusion of competence.
Yes, that's the core of it. You recognize a word so you think you know it, but when you try to actually produce it in a sentence, nothing. You freeze.
It's the uncertainty gap. As a self-learner, you don't have a teacher there to correct you. So do you actually know the rule, or did you just get lucky on a quiz?
Exactly. And Kumar's philosophy to fix that is, it's very deliberate. He calls it structure, scale, and repetition.
Okay, so let's get into that structure. The whole system kicks off with Book 1, the Complete Spanish Grammar Guide. What makes this one different?
Well, it's about separation of concerns, really. It covers the 43 specific grammar topics for A1, no more, no less. But the key is that this book is purely for conceptual clarity.
So no exercises in it.
Almost none. It's just there to explain the what and the why in really simple English. It gets rid of the confusion first before you even try to practice.
Ah, okay, so it separates the lesson from the test. I like that.
It creates a clean mental break. Okay, understand this rule. Great. Now close this book and let's do the work.
And this is where the scale part comes in. Because when I looked at the rest of the package, books 2 through 6, I honestly thought it was a typo in our notes.
The question count.
The question count. I mean, can we just unpack this number? We're talking about 5 separate practice books with a total of 4,300 questions.
4,300. It's not a typo.
That sounds absolutely punishing. How does that even break down?
Okay, so it works out to about 100 exercises for every single grammar topic. So let's say you just learned the verb ser, to be.
Right.
In a normal textbook, you might get, 10 fill in the blanks?
Yeah, 10, maybe 15. You get most of them right, you feel good, and you move on. And then a week later, you've forgotten it.
Precisely. Because 10 reps is just skimming the surface. This system forces you to do 100 reps for that one concept.
What does that actually do to your brain? I mean, why is 100 so much better than, say, 20?
It's about moving knowledge from explicit to implicit. So for the first 10 questions, you're actively thinking, okay, first person singular, soy. It's slow, it's hard work.
It's that phase when you're learning to drive and you're staring at your feet trying to find the clutch.
That's the perfect analogy. But by question 60, you're not really thinking about the rule anymore. You're just seeing the pattern. By question 90, it's automatic. It's muscle memory.
So it forces you past that point where it's still fun and easy into the part where it actually sticks.
Yes. The boredom is where the learning happens. Apps want to keep you entertained, so they switch it up constantly. This system says, no, we're going to do this until you can't get it wrong. It's the gym. You do the reps until it burns, because that's what builds the muscle.
Okay, but the format is fill in the blanks. Some people might say that's a bit, I don't know, old school. Shouldn't we be using AI chatbots or something?
It is old school, but for an absolute beginner, it's a precision tool.
Oh.
With an AI, you can kind of fudge it, you can get the gist across, even if your grammar is a mess.
Right. You get a false positive. You think you communicated, but you really just vibed it.
Exactly. A fill in the blank has nowhere to hide. You either know the right conjugation or you don't. It isolates that one specific piece of knowledge and drills it 100 times. It's rigid, but it's the scaffolding you need.
And the books themselves are designed to keep you focused. Everything's in there right. The answers, the little rule refreshers.
Crucial for the self-learner. You don't have to break your flow and go search online where you'll get distracted. It's all designed to keep you in that deep work state.
So you've got the theory in book 1, and then this absolute engine room of practice in books 2 to 6. But if that's all you did, you'd just become a grammar robot.
You would. I am going to the library.
Exactly.
And that is precisely why Book 7 exists. It's called Learn Spanish Through Stories. This is the bridge from theory to reality.
I was so relieved when I saw this one. It felt like the reward after all that hard work.
It is the reward, but it's also a different kind of workout. It's 21 short stories written using only A1 vocabulary and grammar.
That sounds incredibly difficult to write.
Yeah.
To tell an actual story with such a limited toolkit.
It's a real art, but for the learner, it's magic, because you just spent hours drilling the verb tenor. And now you open this book and you see it used naturally in a story about family.
It validates all that drilling. It's the, oh, wow, I can actually read this moment.
That's it. That is the moment that keeps you going. The source material says that's critical for building confidence. When you finish a story and you understood most of it, that's a huge dopamine hit.
And these stories have support built in, right? Translations and vocab lists.
Yep, again, it's all about keeping you in the ecosystem. The English translation is on the facing page. The vocabulary is right there. No need to open Google Translate.
So let's talk about the who. Who is the person who decides to write 4,300 practice questions?
That would be Vikas Kumar. And his background, I think, explains everything about this system's design. He founded My Language classes, but look at the languages he's an expert in: English, Spanish, and Japanese.
Japanese. That's a bit of a curveball.
It seems like it, but it's the key. He worked for years as a Japanese language expert for corporations, and if you think about how Japanese is taught,
It's very, very structured, right? You can't just wing it.
not at all. It relies heavily on pattern drills, repeating a sentence structure over and over and over. He's taken that rigorous, almost engineering-like approach from Japanese pedagogy and applied it to Spanish.
So instead of the just feel the passion, listen to the music, way Spanish is sometimes taught.
He's treating it like an engineering problem that needs a precise solution. It's structure first.
Right.
He actually has blog posts about this. His whole thing is that even in the age of AI, if you don't have that foundational logic in your head, you're lost.
It's the difference between having a calculator and actually knowing how to do math.
Perfect. You can't pull out your phone to translate every 3 seconds in a noisy tapas bar. You need it baked into your brain, and that only comes from repetition.
He's basically saying the only shortcut is doing the long, hard work.
It's radically honest, isn't it? In a world of fluent in 3 months hacks, he's saying, no, sit down, do the reps.
So for anyone listening who is maybe a little scared but also intrigued, how do you even start with a 7-book series?
Yeah, it's a lot. The source suggests 3 paths. Option A is the all-in. Buy a whole set, put it on your shelf, no excuses.
The burn the boats approach. I like it.
Then there's option B, step by step. Just buy the grammar guide and the first practice book, see how you get on.
That seems a lot more manageable.
It lowers the barrier to entry. And option C is about your learning style. If you love stories, maybe you start with book 7 to get inspired, and then circle back to the grammar when you want to know why the sentences work.
And what about the format? E-book versus paperback.
The content's identical, but I have a strong feeling about this. For the workbooks, you have to get the paperback.
You need to physically write the answers.
Yes, there's a powerful mind-body connection there. The act of writing Nosotros Somos hundreds of times really burns it into your memory in a way that typing doesn't.
Plus, a finished workbook is like a trophy. You can see the work you did.
It's proof. You can look at those 4,300 filled-in blanks and say, I did that. That's huge for motivation.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. The promise. If you actually go through this entire system, start to finish, where are you at the end? What can you do?
The promise is control. You won't be fluent, not by a long shot, but you will have absolute mastery of the A1 level. You can introduce yourself, describe your family, order food, talk about your daily routine.
And you could do it without that sense of panic. That's the key, isn't it?
That is everything. You're not guessing anymore. You're not hoping you remember the right word. You've done the reps. You know it. You have built a rock-solid foundation to actually move on to A2 and beyond. You're finally off the hamster wheel.
Which brings us right back to where we started, that feeling of being stuck in tutorial hell.
This is the way out. It replaces the anxiety of, what should I study today, with a simple command. Turn the page, do the next set of exercises.
There's a real peace in that, just trusting the system.
It's a luxury, really.
Yeah. So maybe the big takeaway here is that in a world obsessed with AI and life hacks, the most revolutionary thing you can do to learn something is to just embrace the boring, repetitive work.
It's unsexy. It's slow. And it absolutely works. Fluency is earned, not downloaded.
Well said. So if you've been stuck, maybe it's time to pick up a pen.
Right.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.